Okay, so I can go ahead and get the meeting started. Welcome everybody to the April 2026 edition of the Rotary E Club of Southeast USA and Caribbean. Our Zoom meeting. We have two speakers this evening. I'm going to go ahead and have Malona introduce our first speaker, and then we will have our second speaker will be coming in hopefully shortly if Amber cannot come on. We have Eric Johnson that can speak on her behalf. But Malona, why don't you go ahead and introduce our first speaker, please?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Good evening, fellow Rotarian, and welcome to our guests. So tonight we have a couple of guests, and we are really happy to have you on board. So at the Rotary, we are united by a shared commitment to service, supporting individuals and community in living healthier and more fulfilling lives. So today we have the privilege to welcome someone whose life journey truly reflects that spirit. So Dr. Girish Kalva is a physician with over 25 years of experience. His path in medicine has taken him across the world. So from his early medical training in India to serving as a medical officer in Jamaica, to completing his residency in New York, and spending many years caring for critical ill individuals in hospitals across the United States. Through this rich and diverse experience, Dr. Kalva had the opportunity to witness firsthand the limits of a system focused mainly on treating symptoms. This led him to expand his approach toward functional and integrative medicine, where he now helps individuals understanding the root cause of their condition and take an active role in their healing process. Today, he practices at National Integrated Health Associate in Washington, D.C., where he combines medical expertise with nutrition, lifestyle medicine, and personalized care to support long-term health and well-being. Dr. Kalva's work is not just treating illness. It is about empowering people to truly understand their bodies and reclaim their health. Without further ado, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Girish Kalva.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Thank you for inviting me today. Appreciate the introduction given by Pascal. Thank you so much for the introduction, Pascal. And esteemed audience, I am very happy to talk to all of you. We are here in 2026, and we have a lot of health issues happening in the world right now. As a physician, I have realized that we have to go upstream and look for the causes of these health issues rather than put ICD diagnosis codes on each problem like hypertension, diabetes, cancer, heart disease, stroke, and etc. etc. Instead of that, we need to look at aging, inflammation, autoimmune disease as entities that can help all of us to heal and experience longevity so that we don't have to take prescription drugs. I'm an internal medicine doctor. I totally understand the need for prescription drugs when the time comes. It is definitely life saving to use those medications when the need arises. But till then, if we can postpone the use of any kind of drugs and instead use diet, lifestyle, which is very, very crucial in the way of thinking that I have been practicing lately, along with supplements if necessary, and hormonal support, which will help in a significant way to postpone the inevitable, which is taking disease to the extreme, like cancer and strokes and heart attacks. So, when I say postpone, these lifestyle changes can be life-saving and life-prolonging as well. So you may not even have to see inflammation and autoimmune disease if you follow the right diet, take the right kind of lifestyle changes, and this will happen slowly and surely. And I have seen it happen again and again and again over the last 7 years of my practice of nutrition, lifestyle, and functional medicine. This is something that I've learned from a point of humility. I have understood that each particular person who I meet with has a different problem. They're all made of different chromosomes, different mitochondria, different health habits, different backgrounds, different race, different ethnicity. So when such kind of background is there, we have to customize each person's requirements and make sure they walk the healthy path. And slowly but surely, everybody can reach a safe place where they can experience longevity, wellness, energy, and that is devoid of inflammation. Having said that, my most common patient population is mostly those with autoimmune disease, chronic inflammation, brain fog, and I have seen many cancer patients too who are looking for alternative sources to fight their cancer and also to prevent cancer if they have gone into remission. So that is the current population that I'm working with. I have had experience with a lot of patients who have had a condition called chronic inflammatory response syndrome. The abbreviation is CIRS. And CIRS is present especially a lot nowadays with COVID that happened in 2020, and a lot of old infections, old inflammation, old problems are being woken up by COVID viruses, which are attacking all of us again and again every season. What is my rationale? So I'm going to, in the next 20 minutes, talk about what is the skeleton of what I do. And Pascal also does a lot of things that we both work together with our target audience. And there are a lot of basics in this process, which is simple things like clean food, which is not processed, not packaged, not in plastic bags, not in a restaurant, not in a fast food place. This is fresh home cooked food. Clean water. Water is something that is present in our cells and is made up of 65 to 70% of our bodies. So clean water is something that is so hard to get unless you work towards it with a reverse osmosis system or maybe a water filtration system that removes pesticides, heavy metals, fluoride, chlorine, and things like that. Apart from these, there are other things that we need to continue doing every day, which are exercise, proper sleep, active lifestyle, which is physical activity. And the most important physical activity we all need to do is after meals, because when we eat a meal, we tend to rise our blood glucose. And when the blood glucose goes up, our insulin goes up. The more insulin spikes we have in our body, the faster we age. So the best ways to keep our insulin levels low, and the easiest way to do that is walk after exercise. Do your house chores after exercise. Do your dishwashing after exercise. Take care of your dog and go for a walk outside after meals. So when you do all these things, anything that is a physical activity after a meal, that really helps. That little amount of exercise for 10-15 minutes after each meal significantly helps you not make your blood sugar go up after a meal. Of course, you still need to eat healthy, and that blood sugar can go into the muscles so that there is no insulin spike after each meal. That helps with longevity, prevention of dementia, prevention of weight gain, and prevention of cancer. That is very crucial for all of you to take home today with this message of physical activity. Now, meal times, I strongly recommend 4-hour windows because that is how our body takes time to digest food. We are all used to snacking a lot, eating a lot of snacks in between meals. If there is one thing you want to do to protect your gut, prevent diabetes, prevent weight gain, try to have a 4-hour window between meals. I'll give you an example. 9 o'clock breakfast, 1 o'clock lunch, and 5 o'clock dinner. You can swap it either way, but the window of 4 hours helps our body rest, our gut rest, so that you don't get gut related inflammation, because gut is our most crucial organ of the body. We destroy or damage our gut, that is the fastest way to get autoimmune disease as well as cancer. The next thing I would recommend all of us that we should be doing every day is to calm our mind down. In this time where people are doom scrolling, or on social media, on Instagram, violence, wars, politics, there is so much going on in the world that can cause activation of our stress system, which is the sympathetic nervous system. There are things we can do, which include meditation, yoga, and journaling, which will calm our brain down. Some people do intense exercises. To an extent, that is okay. But if you're going to do heavy lifting, weight training, resistance training for 2-3 hours a day, that is still overactivation of the sympathetic nervous system. Your exercise should be just enough to stimulate endorphins, but not overdo. You should never exercise on an empty stomach. You should never exercise after a heavy meal either. So there are specific things you can do to calm your sympathetic nervous system that should put us in a pace where we are resting, our mind is calm and peaceful. There are things like tree hugging, barefoot walking, walking in the garden, taking a cold shower, taking Epsom salt bath. There are so many wonderful things we can do to calm our body in such a way that we calm the brain down, calm the mental activity down. Of course, restful sleep is at the top of this list. And develop a hobby between 8:30 and 10 p.m. every day that does not include an electronic device. The reason is very simple. The reason is very simple. When you try to use electronics before you go to bed, the blue light from these screens of the phones, computers, laptops, iPads, that stimulates the retina to tell the brain that it's broad daylight at 10:30 p.m. When we do this every day over many, many years, you block the production of melatonin and growth hormone. And when you do that, that's a nice fast way to age, to get diabetes, to get hypertension, to get heart disease, and some cases also cancer. They have done tons of studies on night shift workers, including nurses in the ICU, and they have found that shift workers who do night shifts and day shifts and night shifts and day shifts, when they change their circadian rhythm, those people are highly prone for diabetes, heart disease, cancer. So please protect your sleep. I have a very important thing to say about your sleep. After all this presentation, if you all get one message from me to take home, your sleep is your 401k. Your sleep is your savings account. Your sleep is your loan and your social security. Do not touch it. Do not take away from it. Do not steal from it. Do not try to compensate weekday sleep from weekend sleep. None of those will work. Please use your sleep judiciously. Ideally, sleeping at 10 to 10:30 is a habit we all need to cultivate. If you are a person who sleeps less than 7.5 hours, it's okay. Sleep at 10:30, wake up at 4:30. That's okay. Do not sleep at 12:30 in the night and wake up at 6:30 in the morning. That is my humble request to the audience and to everybody who's attending this meeting today. Now, this is stress and cortisol. You all know what I just mentioned. We all tend to embrace stress because we love it. I don't know what I can call it. It's a gamer's high or a runner's high or whatever it is. We love stress. We want more of it. We embrace it involuntarily. So if you have stress, it activates the sympathetic nervous system and raises your cortisol. High cortisol is high glucose. High cortisol is weight gain. High cortisol is diabetes. High cortisol is heart attacks, strokes, anxiety, depression, insomnia, and I can just go on and on and on. We have to learn to detach ourselves from things that we cannot control. I would say that is the biggest sentence that I can say for this particular slide. I know we have families, we have parents, we have children, we have accidents, we have cancers, we have relatives, we have families, we have emotions. Among all these things, you have to learn the art to not internalize emotions that you cannot have constantly stress your cortisol levels, which will automatically affect your emotional health, physical health, and psychological health to the best you can do. My mom had one saying for me. She used to say, when you can control something, take care of it. If you cannot control something, let it go. That is what I learned from my mother. So please remember that when you get a chance to let go, please let go. That's my 2 cents on this. I'm not a psychologist, I'm an internist, but I still believe if you can control your emotions and control your stress and try to journal, try to prioritize what is important, what is not, it's a huge step towards a peaceful, healthy lifestyle. Now, aging and brain, I have seen a very common complaint with my patients. They come and say brain fog and fatigue, brain fog and fatigue, brain fog and fatigue. It has become like a constant mantra for me. People walk through the door and talk about brain fog and fatigue. So we have a system where we get each person who comes and sees me to answer a questionnaire where we go after environmental factors, environmental toxins, endocrine problems, menopausal problems, thyroid problems. And once we evaluate all these, we get to know why a person is having brain fog and fatigue. I keep joking with my patients that Starbucks will never go bankrupt, Coca-Cola will never go bankrupt because we are a caffeine loaded nation. Because without caffeine, you can't have any physical activity, any mental activity. The day does not go with caffeine. That 5 Hour Energy is a billion dollar company. Celsius and these Red Bull, all these companies will thrive forever as long as we all have brain fog and fatigue because it's an easy, no prescription, over the counter stuff that we can easily access, including caffeine pills. We tend to find easy solutions for brain fog and fatigue, but unfortunately, the answers are deeply driven from inflammation, lifestyle, poor sleep, lot of stress, heavy metals, thyroid problems, menopause, mold toxicity, Lyme disease, and of course, high blood pressure, diabetes, and I can just go on and on like that. But the bottom line is brain fog and fatigue are extremely common as we age. So please pay attention to your symptoms, write them down, focus on them, seek help from an integrative or a functional provider. It can be a nurse practitioner, it can be a doctor, it can be a coach. If you go and look in ICD diagnosis in an insurance textbook, there is no diagnosis code for brain fog. There is nothing like that. Brain fog is a symptom, but in the wellness arena, in the prevention arena, brain fog and fatigue are huge and way up there when it comes to aging and living healthy. The moment we lose our faculties of the brain, you limit your driving, you limit your hobbies, you limit your cooking, and that's the earliest start for our body getting dementia. So please be aware of brain fog and fatigue. I can go on as simple as long COVID is causing brain fog and fatigue. Mold is causing brain fog and fatigue. B12 deficiency is causing brain fog fatigue. So there are hundreds of causes, but we need to prioritize what we can do. And if you cannot prioritize and your doctor does not have the answers, look for a provider who can. Hormones. Hormones is a big one. This is my favorite. The last 7 years I've spent learning a lot about hormones because in medical school, we were not told that menopause and andropause exist, that there are problems associated with menopause and andropause. I'm going to give you an important few nuggets that you need to take home with today. Menopause is an autoimmune condition. The moment a woman loses her estrogen progesterone, her body is automatically at risk for lupus, Sjogren's syndrome, scleroderma, Hashimoto thyroiditis, and rheumatoid arthritis. All of these inherently happen because of loss of hormones in women. In men, autoimmune disease are way less, and men get andropause very late. They can still have testosterone in their late 70s and 80s, and they don't need estrogen and progesterone, unlike women who have receptors for estrogen and progesterone in every single cell of their body, including your gut, your eyes, your mouth, your heart, your lungs, your breasts, your ovaries, your uterus, your intestines, your hands, your legs. Estrogen receptors are present in every single cell. The way women get autoimmune disease is because when you lose estrogen, you lose the basic gum that binds your gut cells together. Once you lose the estrogen at 50, your gut becomes leaky, and that creeps and allows inflammation into your body and causes autoimmune disease. Some women get menopause at 50, some get at 55, some get at 56. It depends on when your mother or grandmother had menopause. Sometimes it runs in the families. Some people get early menopause. Now there are so many women who are undergoing surgeries in their younger age, women who are having late pregnancies, women who are unable to get pregnant. There is so much going on because of plastics, cosmetics, water pollution. So we are seeing more and more hormonal problems with women starting in their teens and 20s and 30s. In my practice, I have seen a lot of women with PCOS between the age of 15 and 50. After 50, there's a complete loss of hormones, whereas before 50, there's a complete excess of hormones which are not natural for women, which is oral contraceptives, hormonal IUDs, plastics, tap water, cosmetics. So either there is too much or there's too less. That is where I try to tend and strike a balance. I work on changing lifestyles, making women eat healthy, making them avoid plastics, tap water, cosmetics that are dangerous, and there are tons of resources available online. The problem is our population does not know where to look because they are all drowned in the marketing and advertisement of all these companies that sell these products, including fast food and junk food and processed food and the cosmetic industry and everything else that makes life easy. How many of you know that spandex pants have xenoestrogens? So these are pants that women wear for exercise, and they go to the gym and they're sweating in that pants. The chemicals are leaching into their skin and they're trying to lose weight. The chemical estrogens from the pants that they're wearing and the plastic water cup and the plastic container they're drinking water from, it's all estrogens that they should not be getting. So your environment is drowning you in plastics, and that is why we have an obesity epidemic right now. And women will absorb all these estrogens that leads to breast cancer, uterine cancer, and ovarian cancer. So the connection is lost between what is healthy, what is not healthy. So we are all drowned in so much information with AI and Google, confusing everybody, and people are forgetting to do the basics. And we can organize all of that. If you ever want to attend another talk and Pascal wants me to come back, I'm happy to talk about menopause exclusively and how to protect yourself with getting the right hormones and the hormone balance that all women need. Coming to men, men don't come and see me because they all think they're superwoman, supermen. They all think they're supermans and they think they're fine, but they all have issues with hypertension, diabetes, sleep apnea, and they don't have symptoms, so they feel that they're okay. They get the labs done, they don't follow up. I'm not saying everybody, I'm just saying a select few. When I compare men with women in my office population, out of 20 patients, 18 are women and 2 are men, because men tend to ignore early signs of health issues. Do you guys know what is the average time for a doctor to diagnose high blood pressure is? 10 years. Patient will feel lightheaded, they'll feel heavy-headed, they'll have headaches, they'll take Excedrin, they'll take ibuprofen, they take Tylenol, they will try to sleep it off, they'll try to drink coffee. Hypertension is a silent killer. They won't change diet, they won't change lifestyle, they'll be busy working away, they might be stressed, they might be the bread earners. There'll be so many reasons for this. But when you don't take care of your symptoms, it takes 10 years for a person to be diagnosed with hypertension by a doctor, because one blood pressure in the office does not determine whether you have blood pressure or not. And if men get same hormone issues like women do, they lose muscle, they gain belly fat, they get man boobs, they get sleep apnea, and they get prostate cancer. So the same hormonal problems happen in men too. The problem is they don't seek attention, and that's where doctors tend to take care of patients who are advanced in their illness and too far off in their health issues. So in a sense, whether it's a male or a female, the bottom line is simple. Take care of your health, look for signs of problems, eat healthy, sleep well, drink clean water, avoid plastics, cosmetics, tap water like the plague. Gut and nutrients. So this is my forte. Functional medicine basically starts with the gut, ends with the gut. If you don't protect your gut, everything else is lost. When I say lost, I'm not saying it's hopeless. I'm just saying, please start respecting your gut. We only have one of it. Our body is a temple. Please protect it. So feed the body what it needs. Feed the body healthy food. Feed the body fresh food. The most common problem I have seen in the last 7 years of treating weight loss and hormones and menopause and inflammation, there's a huge amount of yeast overgrowth in this country. To the point that I keep joking with my patients that we should rename our country United States of Candida, because everything is yeast laden in our entire eating structure. Pickled foods grow yeast, soda and alcohol grow yeast, sugar grows yeast, packaged foods grow yeast, too much snacking grows yeast, lack of stomach acid does yeast. So I can just go on and on. It's candida, 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 candida. So whoever comes to my office, the first thing I tell them is, before I ask your 100 questions, please start candida diet. So please look up candida diet and start trying to follow it. I'm not saying there's a one size fits all. Some of you might be eating very healthy. You might be avoiding sugar. You might be eating super clean. You might be doing the 4-hour eating window. But please watch out for candida. It's a very hard fungus to find on routine labs. Even a seasoned internal medicine doctor or an infectious disease doctor cannot find candida in routine blood work. So if you want to protect your gut from inflammation, use the principles I showed on slide number 1. Protect your gut. Do not consume fruits with your meals. For example, I can talk about this, but I have so many other things I can say which can make this topic much more longer in duration, so I don't want to complicate it. I'm just giving you an example. When you eat red meat, you can't consume fruits. When you eat grain, you can consume dairy, but you can't consume few other things. So there are so many combinations that you need to respect to let your gut digest food properly. In your gut, there are 3 important things: your stomach, your pancreas, and liver. I call this the 3 axis of resistance. If you lose these 3, it's again game over. Because the liver produces bile juice, the pancreas produces pancreatic juice, the stomach produces acid. Without bile, you can't digest fats. Without pancreatic juice, you can't digest protein. Without stomach acid, you can digest nothing. Now, low stomach acid is a very, very common problem in what I do, in the field of treatment that I do. The symptom of high stomach acid and symptom of low stomach acid is exactly the same. So when you go to a conventional doctor and say, I have low stomach acid, they will think it is high stomach acid, and they give you medications like Protonix, Prilosec, Nexium, and things like that. So please remember that you need to keep your gut clean and healthy, and low stomach acid is a very common problem you need to keep an eye on. That's everything I have for today. Sorry, I went a little overboard. I'm ready for questions if there are any.
Thank you, Dr. Kalva. So I know we are running a little bit over time. So if there is any question, maybe one quick question or two for Dr. Kalva.
Go
Yes.
ahead, Roseanne. Go ahead, Roseanne. Yeah.
Thank you. This was so interesting. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can absolutely hear you. Go ahead.
You mentioned quite a few times to not drink tap water. Do you have a recommendation for like a certain type of filter
Yes,
or what people
absolutely.
should do in their homes regarding not drinking tap
Yes.
water?
Yes, absolutely. So if you're trying to have your if you have your own home, please install a reverse osmosis system. There's a website called Aquasana, and Aquasana has a water filtration system, reverse osmosis. You can look up Home Depot and any of these stores and look for a well rated reverse osmosis water filtration system, and they perform pretty well actually, but you have to read what they remove. They have to remove nitrites, they have to remove lead, they have to remove fluoride, chlorine, pesticides, and all those things. So I would recommend that. If you're renting, there are over the counter systems in Amazon. It's called Bluvia, Bluvia. It's an over the counter reverse osmosis. I have it in my own home. I've been satisfied. It's been almost like 8 months now. The filters are running good. The reverse osmosis, the cylinders, I can change it myself. I don't need a plumber for that. It's an over the counter system. If you're renting, you can use them. Those are the two systems I would recommend.
Thank you.
Yeah. I have one quick question.
Yes, sir.
And that is, I have a good friend who consumes copious amounts of a soft drink that has aspartame as the sweetener. Where can I go to find information about what the long-term effect might be of overuse of that sweetener?
There's a book called Microbiome Diet. Go read about it. If you read the Microbiome Diet book, you will completely change the way you look at additives and sugars, sweeteners, and stuff. Aspartame is so poisonous that even ants don't eat it. That's how toxic it is. Imagine we humans eating it every day in our drink. It's like a joke. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I think someone else was raising. Was it you, Eric? Do you had a question? Yeah.
Yeah, the diet that you mentioned, Candida.
Yes. Yes, Eric. Candida diet.
How do you spell that?
You can spell it Candida diet.com. Now, in that website, there are some spoofs. He still allows fermented foods. I do not allow fermented foods every day. Kombucha, kefir. People have this rage about, oh, I love kombucha. I love kefir. It's super healthy for my gut. Oh, I love bone broth. There's no one size fits all. Please do not overdo fermented foods that also grow yeast. So the Candida diet is something you got to be careful about, even in that diet. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
In your last slide, you showed a lot of different kinds of fruit. Were you saying, yeah, there you go. Were you saying not to eat those with dinner or meals?
Yes, sir. All fruits are off limits for meal times. Fruits are a snack. The most important ones you need to remember are watermelons, all melons, muskmelon, watermelon, all these melons are orphans. Melons cannot be consumed with food. July 4th is coming. We all eat a barbecue and we eat corn, we eat nice sandwich and hot dogs, and then we consume watermelon in the summer. Watermelons cannot be consumed with that because the digestion time of fruits is 30 minutes. The digestion time for beef and pork and chicken and fat is 2-3 hours. So when your watermelon is completely digested, but the meat is not digested, you're basically rotting all these fruits in the stomach, causing yeast overgrowth and inflammation.
Excellent. So I know there is a lot of more that we can learn from Dr. Kalva. Unfortunately, we are running out of time. So I think Dr. Kalva, on your last slide, you have your contact detail in case, people want to reach out to you. Yes. And get to know more about you. Yes. And of course, if you feel like you would like to know more about one topic, Dr. Kalva is more than happy to come back for another session.
I'm very, very welcome and we'll be happy to talk more about any questions you have. We can just have a plain Q&A without me talking about anything. I can answer questions. That would be also another wonderful way to do a talk next time.
Excellent. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Kalva. We appreciate your time.
Thank
And we really appreciate your availability tonight.
Thank you so much. God bless everybody. Please eat clean. Please respect your sleep. That's the only take-home message. Your sleep is 401k for me. Okay, you guys owe me on that. Thank you so much. Take care, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye now. So you are more than welcome to stay, Dr. Kalva, or to go. I know
I'll have to drop off because I have to pick my son from school. So I'm going to go.
Excellent.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye.
So Alicia, it's all yours now.
Okay. Well, I am going to hand it off to, well, I guess both Eric Johnson and Amber is on. I don't see her picture, but I see that she's joined. So either one of you may talk. I would imagine that you'll be talking about the district water project. Okay, Amber, you're on.
Yeah, but I don't know how long I'll be on. My connection is real unstable. I'm at a banquet for my grandson.
Okay. Well, we'll toss the coin. Either one of you can, if Amber, if you want to get started, if you drop off, Eric, you can pick up. I will say a quick note. I met Amber. Well, I've met Amber in person. We met at the last district conference, and she's a joy to know. Anyway, go ahead, Amber.
Hi, thanks for having us. I'm gonna start off, and I'm gonna let Eric go into it. He has a quick video, but I just want to thank you guys for supporting our district water project and our grant, and hopefully you guys will continue to do that. Eric, I'm gonna pass it off to you because my connection is sometimes.
Sure. I can take over, and I actually got how much time do I have to share with you guys tonight?
Yeah, 15 minutes.
Okay, perfect.
That'll work.
Can I share? Can I share my slide with you?
You should be able to.
Okay. Share my desktop. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to play a couple videos also. I hope that you can hear the videos. Thank you for letting us share tonight to the E-Club of Southeast USA and Caribbean. The first time I've seen you guys, so hello there. Here's a video. This is a quick little snippet of our trip this past October. I'm going to turn my volume up here. I don't know how the volume is going to work.
Oh,
Can you guys hear that?
Yeah, we can see, but you may want to share the sound when you share.
Share this is the
Yeah, if you can stop sharing and share again.
Okay. How do I share the sound?
So when you start sharing, it's gonna ask you if you want to share the sound.
Okay, hang on a second. Sorry, the first time I've done this here. So share settings.
Maybe you want to stop sharing and you try again.
Okay.
Yeah. Now try again. And you should have the option before you share
Sound.
to share the sound.
There we go. Okay. Oh, it's saying I need a password. Let's see. Okay. Let's try that now. Let me get to this video here. You hear some music there? Nice. There was just a bunch of music in there. Can you guys hear me still?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. So I kind of cut my presentation down because this usually takes me about a half an hour. So I'm just going to kind of flip through some slides. These are Pure Water for the World is an organization that has been in Honduras for 20 plus years now. I've been on the trip 17 or 15 times. And now I'm one of the trip leaders, so it's a privilege for me to get to organize the trip and take people from all over the world down there to experience a week. It's a very hands-on trip. We do 2 days of installing water filters, and we do 1 day of working on a latrine at a school. We fundraise about $30,000 to $35,000 before each trip. So Amber said you guys made a contribution to this, our upcoming trip. So thank you guys, because without your contributions, we can't do these trips. These are a couple of water sources that I shot as we were hiking up to the communities that we go and work in. As you can see, that water there is just, completely filthy. These are what the people are drinking all the time. They got little pipes that go right from these little water sources down into their homes, and they bathe in this. They wash their dishes in it. They drink it. If they brush their teeth, they brush their teeth in that water. So, that just right there, it's a good visual of the impact that we make is once that water goes through the filter that you'll see in a little bit, it's 99% bacteria free. Here's another video shot a few years ago.
So I'm at a school in Maraita, Honduras, and we just came to check out the school because Pure Water is going to be doing some work here pretty soon. There's a latrine way up in the corner there that the children use, which is really unsafe because especially being so far out of the sight from the teacher, things can happen to the children if they go up that way. The most crazy part of being here was that this is the water that they're using to wash their hands that they get from a little well that's 300 feet from here. But this is the water that they're also drinking. And so that's what's unbelievable. I could wash my hands with this water, but there's no way I would try to drink this water. So Pure Water is going to be installing a latrine with a wash station and putting in a water filter at this school coming up pretty soon. So that's pretty amazing work that Pure Water is doing.
Obviously, that video was shot a few years ago when I was on the trip. I look a little different now, but so I kind of shared a little bit of my story. Here are the sand filters that we install. It's a bio sand filter. It's a very basic filter. No electric has to go to it. There's no running parts. Basically, that cylinder is filled with three different granules of sand, a thicker, larger rock at the bottom, and then we throw in a smaller rock, and then the top of it's filled with sand. This filter right here, if it is just maintained regularly and not moved, it'll last 25 years. Pure Water has done so many studies on different water filters. There are a lot of filters that are easier to install, but this one here is the most effective because of the way it filters the water. The water gets poured into the top, and as it goes down through the filter and through all the different levels of sand, you can see the bottom pipe there that comes out. There's no oxygen at the bottom of that cylinder. So when the water comes up vertically through that pipe and down into the bucket, once it gets to the bottom, there's no oxygen for the bacteria to grow. So that's one of the reasons why it's so effective. Here you can see there's different, ways we have to clean. We have to clean all the parts just to make sure they're clean. The top left corner there, we're washing the sand and the gravel that goes in there. We find a spot in the home or the kitchen that they want to put the filter. We level it out, and then we put the different granules of sand in there. One of the most important things is we have to measure the flow of the water when it comes out. It has to be between anywhere from 50 to 65 seconds for it to be the most effective. Then there's also pictographs that we leave in the house because a lot of these communities, we're way up in the mountains. They don't have any kind of education. So if they can't read, there's pictures there that show them how to maintain the water filter. And there's a lot of education that takes place in these communities before and after. There's one of the families that we got to impact. We installed the filter that is behind them in their home. is another filter installation with the family. And again, this is a Petri dish that's taken from about uh, 30 milliliters of water, like a third of a Coke can, and you can see all the bacteria that's in it. The blue bacteria is E. coli. And so, every third of a Coke can, they're taking in all this bad bacteria. Once it's gone through the water filter that you just saw, that's what it looks like. And the rate of bacteria and diarrhea and sickness in the communities after we go in and install the water filter drastically decreases because of that simple installation of that water filter. So clean water really changes everything in these communities. The children don't get sick, they go to school more. The parents don't get sick, they can work more and provide for their family. Now, here's the part of the sanitation, because I mentioned that we do 2 days of installing water filters, but then we go to a school and we install or help to continue the process of building a latrine. These are old latrines at some of the schools. So you can see there's just one little pot that's going into the ground, not very safe. There's no doors on there. And this would be an example of a latrine that we build, the Pure Water builds at a school. There's a station for boys, there's a station for the girls, and then on the left, this is one of the new things that they're doing. That's a menstrual station because they started realizing that when girls are menstruating, they're not going to school for the week. So now they have a latrine just for the girls when they're menstruating. They can go in, it's larger, they can clean themselves up a little bit. And so now you see what we put in the wash stations outside there. The school provides the soap. There's a lot of education that goes into, after you use the latrine, wash your hands. So when you come back to the classroom and you're touching your friends, you're not spreading any kind of bad bacteria. So we go down there, we do a lot of painting of the latrines. We try to paint them in the rotary blue color. And then we do a lot of mixing cement. We pour a slab of cement on top of the latrines. And then there's also over where all the sewage goes in the back of the latrines, we pour a slab that goes on top of that. So there's a lot of laborious work, but it's only for a few hours and anybody can do it. There's some of the kids at the school that we got to impact a couple years ago. We do a lot of fun things with the kids. Here's another video. Here's an example of, I'll kind of flip through this, but these communities that we go into, we drive about an hour on these roads to get out to these communities. And this is, you can see, one of the reasons why a lot of the children don't, when they get sick, they die because in these communities, they don't have the ability to get to a clinic and to get care for their child. And here's a little example of us in the back of the truck riding through the mountains, but you can see how beautiful it is. And it's just like you're on a safari down.
Steep one.
We kind of bounce around in the back of the truck a little bit.
How you guys doing?
Good.
We're doing great.
Doing
good?
Great. We're down there.
How's your gimbal doing there?
Every 8 seconds, a child dies of unclean water, but every 8 seconds, we have the opportunity to change that. And you guys, took part in that by donating to our next trip that we're doing. The impact is immediate. The opportunity is right there for you can join in on these trips also. We take every age, we take high schools, we take teenagers. We got my dad and mom are going on the next trip with us in October. My dad's this will be his second time. He's 75 years old. And so there's opportunities for everybody to get involved in on these trips. If you feel like you can't do any of the hiking, we put you in the homes that are close to the road. And it's just a super opportunity to get to really feel like you're making a good impact around the globe. Here's another quick little video. There's another story we can write, one where clean water brings children back to life, where dignity is restored drop by drop. We don't just bring filters, we bring second chances, we bring a better future, we bring hope. This trip doesn't just change them, it changes us. And while we travel to change lives, we forge friendships with kindred souls. We experience something bigger than ourselves. We don't have to save the world, just one life every 8 seconds. So if you have any interest in going, please reach out to me. And because it is certainly an awesome experience, and appreciate you guys letting Pure Water share tonight.
Great job. Thank you. Thanks for sharing.
Yep. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Amber. Any questions?
Yeah, Alicia, I got you signed up for the next trip, right? You're going, right?
Maybe the one after that.
Okay, I'm taking names for 2027.
Maybe, yeah. Okay, Deborah, you're on mute.
Hi, Eric.
Hi.
Nice. That was such a great presentation. I was working with the Tarpon Springs Rotary Club, and we did a Bally project where we did water hookups, for a lot of the villagers that had been pushed into the mountains. And we had the University of Florida Engineers Without Borders helping us. They were super fantastic. And they got to the point where they could just go in and just really move out very quickly. Do you ever use any of those types of organizations to help you?
Oh yeah, certainly. UNICEF has been a huge partner to Pure Water for the World. We also work a lot with COST, which is a
Mhm.
organization out of Canada that
Yeah.
provides education for these. So yeah, we have a lot of charity partners that we get grants from to do the projects in these
Okay.
communities. And when there's a lot of times when I go down, there are engineering students, water engineering students that are partnering up with Pure Water there for, living there for
Great.
3 months, 6 months, helping to further the projects and come up with different ideas. That's what I love about Pure Water. When I
Yeah.
first started going down there 15 years ago, even the latrines are so different than what we were building back then because they just come up with new ideas and oh, this is a better way to do it.
Yeah.
Let's change our plans and do it this way.
Well, thank you so very much for doing what you do.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Anything else? Any other questions or comments? See, I don't see one. Okay. Well, Eric, thank you for hanging in there. It's good to see you.
Yes, good to see you
Thanks for
too.
the presentation. And I'm sure either you or Amber will let me know when it's time for the next donation. We have donated for the past 2 years for the district water project. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. Well, let's see. We ran a little over. That's okay. Go ahead and if there's nothing else for the good of the club for the meeting this evening, we'll go ahead and close things out. Those that are on the board, if you'd like to wait for a couple minutes after the meeting, we'll get back together. Don't have a specific agenda, but if there's anything that needs to be discussed, we can do it then. So we'll finish the meeting with everything as Rotarians we do think or say. Is it the truth?
Is it the truth?
Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Will it be
Will it be
beneficial
beneficial
to all
concerned?
And is it fun?
There you go. Thank you. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Eric. It was a great presentation. And
Yep.
it's nice seeing everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Have a
Bye-bye.
good evening. And I'll put everybody on pause and we'll see board members in a few.
Thank you. Bye-bye.